Everybody, welcome back to our channel. This is episode 3, and we have another interesting person in studio with us. So, today Victor is here with us. I'm going to introduce you guys to Victor in a while. Be ready for a very interesting interview. You would not expect the scopes to meet the way they do here. So Victor, welcome to Influence Ma'am.
Thanks.
How
Happy
are
to be
you?
here. Nervous, but yeah. Good.
It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who's Victor?
Well, in a nutshell, Victor is a family guy, first of all, and I've been, I studied chemistry and geology at University of Namibia. Didn't grow up in Windhoek. I grew up in the north, in Onipa, in Ndangwa. So, yeah, I spent most of my childhood in there, and I only moved to Windhoek when I was ready to take varsity. And then, so in varsity, that's when I did a lot of, discovering about life, about myself, about my abilities, my talents, and the music came to the fore. As before the music came, I was actually, struggling with school at the time, but how it actually came into play is like a friend of mine back then just kind of requested me, to writing a song. I was like, dude, are you crazy? I know nothing about music. I don't know nothing about songwriting. And then, that was 2009. So we actually opened up that door. I did a few requests from the guys that were I was church at the time, and then gave me an instrumental, and I just went with it. Yeah. So I started writing my first lyrics, which is actually my first song ever. I did that called "You Are." I'm actually working on my first debut album titled "You Are." And originally came from that. So when I eventually finished with the first song, I just I got this melodies just coming through me, and then the more they came, the more I'd record. It caught me. It caught me. Little did I know, that's fast forwarding the years. I'm actually, I come from a very musical family. My aunt, these guys are lyrically, or vocally talented. They can sing from tenor to soprano, and I'm like, yo. And I came to know about this only 2 years ago only.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So Victor is a family guy, geologist, science, and now also artistic. Tell me, first base, when somebody encounters you, you look like if Legos were a thing back when you were growing up, that would be your thing. It's close to puzzles, puzzles. So you've always kind of been a puzzle guy. So growing up, what would have been your puzzle thing? What was the thing that you did that was sort of puzzles as a child?
Board games,
board games,
played Monopoly a lot.
After
this also got me into the business entrepreneurial mindset. Yeah. So I'm actually trying to use that now in the space that I am. Obviously, having that background. I read a couple of books on business and just leadership as well. So it's really difficult to say this is me. I'm not this type of person who you
in a box.
Listen, It's so a lot of elements. I really wouldn't know how to describe myself, and I'm still discovering certain things.
So what do you think? What is the one word that your community of people would know you can place you on? Everybody comes to that one distinctive description of you in a word.
Loyalty.
Loyal.
I'm loyal. I'm loyal to whatever, everything that I set my mind to. Whether it's on my relationship, my marriage, family, dreams, aspirations, work, everything I put my mind to. I'm fixated on that. I'm loyal to that. I need to see it through. I'm very, it's a short case of OCD,
Okay. So I know, like, growing up in the north, the most common sport would have been soccer.
It is.
Still is.
Yeah, still is, yeah.
Congratulations. Chula is doing strides right now.
Yes, those guys.
Look how happy
no, guys, I mean, this is, okay, apart from, Ondangwe where I grew up, there's a team called the Shakati City where I spent a decade there in school, but like, most of my upbringing was in that town. So I grew up watching Shakati City. It gives me that pride, the memories are coming back. And I'm like, yes, these guys. But it's how they just blew up overnight. I'm like, wow.
So would you say that you were also, because I know Polytech and UNAM used to have a really tight battle around basketball.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a generation in time where everybody who was tall played basketball. Coming from the Oshakaticity background with the soccer.
Yeah.
Did you ever, like, were you involved in the soccer? And did you switch over to the basketball?
I did. I think I love soccer more than basketball. I don't know why people always think that I'm a basketball player.
You actually have the basketball presence.
Well, but I never played. I don't even know the rules, to be honest with you. Really, honestly. No. I tried, but it's just not my thing. I think soccer was more, it was, I think from way back, all I knew was soccer. I started supporting soccer even before I could play in the streets, right? My first World Cup, that was like 94. I still have vivid memories of it. Yeah, I can't still remember who won, but like going to 98, I can tell you, I love the African Cup of Nations. I've been following it for quite a while. It's bigger than the World Cup to me. So, but it's like home. Yeah. So soccer has been a really big part of me. I mean, it's just unfortunate that I couldn't make a career out of it, but I would play for fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming back to the geology side, thank God and all. When did you realize as a kid that science was the thing for you? Think about it. We grew up in. What did you want to be? And everybody was a doctor or a policeman.
No ways. It was. I guess it developed from. I would say this. When I got to remember when I was in 8th grade, right? This is the grade where you are now having additional subjects from 6th, and it goes to 9. You have all your geographies, physical science, which is addition, history, and all of that. But then science struck me as not easy, but it was so interesting to a point where one time I was studying for my final exams, and then my brother was like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I'm like, "I don't know, but something in science." I'm like, "You should do geology." I'm like, "Really? Yeah, I mean, the geology, it's in demand right now." And that was like, 2003? 2 type of, So I just went with it. So geography became my now top priority with maths and like all the science subjects combined. So I really did well in science. It was very bad. I hated accounting, But like looking at back now, I'm like, I need accounting. Probably do it. But yeah, science has always been that. And eventually when I did get to varsity and my first midterm break, I actually, took the opportunity to just apply. And I made a few calls, connections, and like I got myself in my first job was at Navajo Coal Mine. It's in Caribbean. So that was more like tangible. You kind of like in the space of what a geologist does. Chemistry really came later. When in varsity, I realized that geology is more like this. Chemistry is like, it's like opens you up to a whole nother level of unending possibilities, and that's what I like. Okay, let me have that as a major, and let me have geology, and I still have that passion attached to it. So I just went with it, which took me 7 years. That was a 4-year degree, right? Like I said, I mean, life also like happened in varsity, so finding myself. No, and if I had to go through that same journey and process, I'll do it over again, because I matured, I developed, I grew, it wasn't just about passing and getting the grades there. It was like, understanding, but also what do I do after the degree? There was a lot of things that I discovered. During that time. That's 7 years. Brilliant.
So would you say as a child you've always kind of had the freedom? And I'm picking up this because you come out of a very supportive family structure. The freedom to be like, I actually want to be a scientist in a world where the community didn't understand what science was to that
But
perspective.
just to give you a bit of background, which my dad passed like 2 years ago, 2021, and in his eulogy, which he, during the funeral, there was this thing where, this part where, in that time, my granddad, his father, couldn't allow him to like go to school because he's like a farmer, and this is what we do. This is our heritage. That also it's inherited in me and my brothers as well. But like, hearing the struggle, if he did not, he defied his dad then, because he would like kind of take books and read at the kraal, like at night, take a candle, and like when he goes to in the morning to like tend to the sheep, he would let them there, like close to the schools, and get a couple of minutes inside a classroom, just get the concept. You know what? Yeah, and that's what got to me. Is like if this guy had the tenacity and the drive to do this and make sure that me and my siblings, we all got through school, like yesterday, I can't mess up, man. I can't mess up. And it's more than just acquiring knowledge. It's you having to expand your mind to new horizons. Just not think this way. Think broad. Think all of all endless possibilities of what you can become. And yeah, he's really a big part of my life. He was, still is. So it's derived from that. With the school and geology, chemistry. It was like rare. He told me like, okay, he ended up being, studying agriculture, farming, very, very good at it. But if he was, if he had the opportunity, could have been an engineer, architecture, whatever, and like, So, you have no idea, man. And I look at my sons right now, and like one is turning 2 now, and other one is just barely a month old. And I look at those boys, and I'm thinking, you guys, I'm gonna set the ceiling so high that this is gonna be where you start, but like I expect you to still, it's kind of a generational thing,
and it's a good culture.
And it's a good culture to have, exactly. But I'm never, I don't think, as parenting goes, I'm never really gonna be. I think I've acquired a lot to know not to force a child to something. So learn to also just see where the gifts, and then just try and support that for them.
Great. So you've got 2 sons. Both are boys?
Both are boys. Yeah.
What is your biggest dream for them?
That they become better than me, to be honest. Yeah. I'm trying to equip them so much to be able to, take on whatever the world may throw at them, even in my absence. That's kind of the legacy that I want to live, to be honest. Yeah.
So when you say better than you, definitely there's a
I know, no.
Did your grandfather
like for real? Yeah, no.
Would it be a situation where you say better than me in a sense where they get to use skillful knowledge earlier on, as opposed to not making a whole bunch of mistakes to a better foundation?
Well, no. They need to make many mistakes, as I think. I come from a generation where mistakes were like, oh man, you can't fail. Your dad was, this is the bar. You can't drop that. Can't drop the ball. So I did a lot of failure at the time. And my first failure, like when first year, this degree, that took me 7 years. I should have completed in 4 years. That first year was how I took it. My first failure, I never failed in like primary school, high school and all of that. It took time for me to like just sit and like think, did I just fail? This is something I'm not supposed to do. And then yet I did it, over time. So to kind of like try and improve from that. So the second year I still failed, but like it was still going on as if I was trying to comprehend myself, like how am I, having all this, this history behind me, and I'm failing, which I'm not supposed to fail. And I realized, university doesn't care if you, to a point where you're like, am I dumb?
I think we all go through that process.
So that culminates like in whole, life and everything. I think that's where my journey is at. I'm not going to subject that to my sons at all. because I understand. I've walked, and I know what it means when you have to fail. And this case in point. I think a couple of weeks ago, I took my son to the beach, and he tripped and he fell. Interlocks, and mom would be like, "Oh man, come on, let me brush you off, let me hug you, let me." Like I was just there clapping until he got up. I'm like, you can fall, but you can still get up. It's fine. Yeah, as long as he has the support, and he needs to know that he has that support. I think that's what every child probably needs.
So let's talk music. As I was reading, I
Yeah.
realized the very first investment into your musical dream was $150.
It is. Where did you get that information from? My word.
I'm good at what I do.
Big up to Adino. He's my boy. He hooked me up.
Yeah, so I definitely know being a creative can be this really hard journey. Can you explain to me in that moment? Because a lot of people dismiss these small feelings. Tell me, what did it feel like in that moment? I mean, you have this dream.
Yeah.
One, you're a very sciencey person talking about an artistic project that has passion and the grab of your heart, and somebody is willing to inject money into that dream, regardless of what it was. What was that feeling like for you in the moment?
That was a boost. It's like a catalyst. When you have a friend that I think for him to actually invest that, he probably would have gone through. He understood where I was at. You have a passion that nobody else understands. You have a dream. You have a gift. You have a talent that nobody could ever understand, and yet they're buying into that. It's almost like they're making your dream theirs. They're financing that. Investing into that. And I was touched, man. As little as it was, it meant so much than just the value of the money. It's like there's somebody else that just really believes in what I want to do, and that's why I feel like if I can even have just that one person that could just listen to my song, let alone buy it. I'm actually not in there for profit, just because I love what I'm doing. And they are willing to support that, whether by listening, whether by buying records in the future, whatever. Look, I'm just like, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the competition that you entered for a couple of years
ago,
around the song. And how was that competition process for you?
Yeah, that was me getting out of my shell. I'm a very, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm an introvert, but I can be. I can be. But that was an icebreaker in terms of just letting the shackles off and let the people see you. I mean, this is just who you are. They're actually, you're inviting people in a space where you're vulnerable. You're not as open and free. But again, you're just saying, you know what, this is who I am. You're welcome. Yeah. And shout out to Voice Perfect. Oh man, it tested me, like the creative side and everything else, in music. But I think I did well. I got as far as I could, but I've learned a lot from that. Yeah.
So I do realize you have a group that you regularly engage when you do like music shots.
Yeah.
Tell me, how did that relationship start, and how has it benefited you?
Octaves,
right? They call
the octaves. Yeah, 8 octaves. I was on a date with my wife. Yeah, like this wasn't unplanned. So in Farmhouse Delhi, one of those date nights, and we just sitting there, and this guy has decided to now put on a show. I think they usually do this. It's their thing, and African guys, and they're young, vibrant, and they're just doing the thing. We're having a conversation one minute with my wife, and I'm like, I'm so in tune to music. I love melodies, harmonies, and I was like, baby, just give me this. I took out my phone literally, and I was like, I'm sorry, excuse me. And then she understands. She understands. She knows I was like, okay, my attention was a little bit divided at the time. I decided to take a video of those guys, and I was so captivated. And I was like, something, with the melodies and the harmonies that I was hearing, I could already hear, and I have plenty of songs that I've just written, and I have all these ideas that I need a choir with a song. And after they performed, I got the number. They were selling CDs. I was like, what the heck? I bought one of the CDs at the time. Haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah.
I'm that type of person who, if a CD comes out now, Valencia, you did an album, I'll probably listen to this song 3 years after, because I don't like the hype around. It's always like that. I'm like, I like to take my
I
time.
could relate.
Yeah, I like to take my time and like really give it time
And
to.
give it a good, authentic.
Yes,
criticism.
exactly. But no, they're good. Oh, the song that we did, powerful.
I was happy
Yay!
to power. I was reading the lyrics, and as a writer, I was kind of intrigued to how you started off the song with the, I would say, acronyms, because it's the words, and then just going straight into what you want that word to mean in that song.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, like, in the process of writing it, was it difficult? I mean, you coming out of the shop,
I know,
your creative side, you're combining with other people. Was it difficult to kind of get across the structure in which you wanted the song to go, especially that entrance into the first
Eleanor.
verse, like the power,
Yeah, power.
or was it just like everybody kind of knew their part?
No. Originally, that song, lyrics were all the same, like most of it. I think it's just a thing where I like the chorus. Chorus is definitely organic. That hasn't changed, but the bridge was supposed to be a 2-part kind of song. Realized when with the producer now, because I've written that song in like what, 2010? Yeah. Very. So and this is what's happening with all my songs, because they have that. It's almost traditional old school. I'm an old school guy, really. But then when you're in the studio in the producer and you're getting all this other ideas that they're throwing at you, and like it's still your song at the end of the day, and they give you the liberty to say, okay, you know what, you want to change this, or you want to. And that's where it came when I pitched the song to the group 8 octaves, and I'm like, oh, we could do this here, and like you're still allowing that room for that, not so much distortion of the song, but like in a way that it also makes it their own.
Yeah, like an
identity thing. Yeah, exactly. So it all works out. That actually came from me and them, where we did that whole intro and then into going there.
Very creative.
Yeah, and and the beat, guys. That was I don't know, because the idea that I had about that song was like soft rock. I don't know if it still fits that, but I love the way it sounds.
Okay.
Love the way it sounds.
So I want to find out. Definitely, you would be classified as a what is the word? I wouldn't know, a hidden gem right now in the music scene.
Hidden gems.
Yeah. That, like, not a lot of people really know about you in the music.
No.
So is there a video coming out for Power, or because I do know that you did renditions before. There's like 3 renditions out, and
well, I'm trying to actually find my space in terms of like doing music videos, but I want to do it differently. I want it to, like, when you see this, it should be not an ordinary music video. If anything, in all the music videos that I want to do, I want to actually try and have lyrics in there. So not only are you have the liberty to just listen, you can like sing along with it. And I'm trying to make it so intimate, because it's gospel. Yeah. So if you were to sing it, it's like you singing it to God, and that's kind of the art and the idea behind the creativeness of all this. I got really good people behind me that can spark goals of idea, like, okay, I have a music video art, or like idea that we can use this song. Yeah, good work for this. So yeah, having a good team also helps, eh? Yeah.
So when can we expect, or rather not when, but if somebody was to watch this and be like, I'm interested to see what kind of music somebody like this would be doing, where is your music accessible?
Currently, trying to use Instagram and like Facebook because they're tools. Other websites. I mean, not a lot of people have access to like Apple, to buy a song or whatever. But I'm looking at all different options, especially before I break down God. But like I'm using Instagram and Facebook more to just it's a base, just to get the music aware,
So I saw you did a very interesting thing. You took the hymns of the Ohangelo 36 and 37, and I was interested to know, are you thinking of a remix situation moving off when you find kind of your niche in the music thing? Since that is the traditional part that you'd always want to feed into.
I realize, over the years when I've written songs, there is that element. I grew up in a very, very religious home. I could never replace that part. So if anything, I not even try to modernize it, but just kind of also have the older generation involved in it. So but that's just like I said, I'm very old school as well. So I think my voice kind of helps bringing it that spice, that newness, that modernness in an already established kind of space. Yeah, so they can just like jam with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I'm wrapping up. It's so interesting talking to
Thanks.
you. We've gotten to know a little bit about your education front and how much of a science kid you actually are.
Yeah.
And I guess it's such a good representation that where you come from doesn't dictate
No,
where you decide to
absolutely.
be. It's all about how you enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
So as I'm rounding off, I'd like to know, what is that quote that you stick by since you're a loyal guy?
From the top of my head, resonates in my heart. Romans 12:21. Do not. It's like, do not let the world defeat you. If anything, you should defeat the world by doing good. That has always been my base, and you'll find a lot of obstacles. You'll find a lot of haters in the world, but they shouldn't alter your character. It shouldn't influence you to be negative in any way. So by that, it actually makes you stronger, eh? Yeah, and I live by that. I still live by it. And if there's anything that I want to do, I want to kind of leave that legacy. Yeah, that's a legacy.
Thank you so much for coming over to hang out.
Appreciate it, Valencia. Thank you.
We're glad we're getting to know you while you're still a hidden gem.
Yeah, more is to come.
Yeah,
guarantee you that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
And that's a wrap.